What's up, Nova Heads? It's Amber Nova.
This is Chris Lights Out Lytle.
Hi, this is Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Ice Boogie.
It's the real and raw August Artois.
This is Smiling Sam Alvey.
It's Archimedes.
I'm Jack Cartwheel, the real deal, the human highlight reel.
This is Steve Maury.
I'm Victor Henry.
It's ECW Original, The Enforcer, CW Anderson.
This is Honest John.
It's Mr. Classic.
I'm Jason Punet.
The young ghost.
It's old Hattie Price here.
When I say what's my name, Snipes.
Richie Slade.
My name is Gino Rivera, the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish Mafia.
The incredible one, Anthony Idol.
This is Ken Shamrock.
The Golden Boy, Jordan Clearwater.
Yo, watch and listen.
Championship online.
This is Alex Mars here. Hi, Richard Modest.
So, please listen to it, otherwise be cursed. Okay, see you later, love that dinners.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're now watching and listening to Championship Online podcast. I'm Alex, and with my co-host as usual, Rich is with me. And today we have a very, very special episode today because we have a professional wrestler who's been, doing really big things in EWF Empire Wrestling Federation. He's a rising star. We're very lucky to have him. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Nick Lash. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go.
How's it going, guys?
Awesome, man. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time to do this podcast with us, man. Really happy, excited that you're here.
No problem. Thank you, guys. This is actually my first podcast, so I'm lucky to be here.
Awesome, man. We're glad to hear it. And before we start, we have a segment we like to do. It's called Fun Questions, where we ask fun questions about your personal side so the fans can get to know you a little bit better. Is that cool we do with you?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Rich, so start up with question number 1.
Awesome. Right off the bat, we're going to start. What is your favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, that is got to be Pulp Fiction.
Nice. Travolta, classic.
Nice. Are you a big Quentin Tarantino fan?
Yeah, definitely. I love all Tarantino movies.
Awesome. Did you watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes, I have actually. The ending scene is probably one of my favorite scenes of all time.
Yes, yeah.
I started crying laughing when he just threw the dog food.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful
it's
scene.
So awesome. And the blowtorch scene, like it's all the flamethrower. It's just awesome.
Great movie.
Awesome. Good pick. Second, what is your favorite TV show?
Ooh. I haven't watched TV in a long time. Just because like Hulu and stuff, I have to go with my all-time favorite, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I could quote Sponge. I actually, me and my friends back when I was in high school, we used to have like this language where we would only like quote SpongeBob and like it would get us through the entire day. So
that's awesome. Yeah, we still do that too. Like every episode, like my favorite one is a pizza episode when the Krusty Krab pizza. That's awesome. Awesome. Next, what is your favorite music or artist?
This might come as a surprise. I actually really like R&B.
Nice.
So her, Bryson Tiller, Daniel Caesar, those guys. Wonderful.
Awesome choices. Next, what is your favorite meal?
I have to think about that one.
No worries, we'll go back to it.
Definitely.
We'll come back to that one. Your favorite video game?
Video game. It would probably have to be SmackDown versus Raw 2008.
Yeah. Nice.
Because that's probably the video game I spent the most time on in my lifetime. So I have to say that one.
Did you have like a go-to character? Like you always had a pick?
Yep, Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy, yeah.
Jeff Hardy.
Well, that's a great choice. Outside of wrestling, do you have a favorite hobby?
Honestly, just working out, hanging out with friends, going to movies. Before all the COVID stuff happened, I'd love to just sit in the theater, and just kind of immerse myself in the movie. But ever since this COVID stuff happened, the movies are kind of coming out and streaming now, so it makes it a lot easier just to, watch at home.
Yeah, I feel you there. Next question: do you have a favorite ritual you like to do, or do you have a ritual you like to do before you enter the ring?
I do. It's funny you ask. So I'll cross my heart. I'll try and find a mirror, and I'll say, "This is going to be your best match yet," before I walk out. Any type of mirror, window, anything kind of with a reflective face, I'll just kind of tell myself, "This is going to be your best match yet," and it gets me pumped up, and I go out.
That's pretty awesome. I like that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Next, do you have a favorite wrestler growing up?
Jeff Hardy. Yeah. He's kind of the person that like made me fall in love with wrestling. We used to have old like VCR tapes of the old WrestleManias and all the TLC matches that the Dudley Boys and Edge and Christian. I'd watch those on repeat. Any other matches I didn't really have interest as a kid, I'd only watch those matches. And my favorite was always Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy jumping off of ladders doing crazy stuff. So
yeah, I think that goes for a lot of us, especially like our age group. Alex and I grew up watching them too. It's just the stuff they were doing was unbelievable at the time.
Definitely.
It's crazy. Yeah. So we have one more, but we'll go back, to your favorite meal that you like. Yeah.
So my favorite meal is going to be steak with mixed vegetables.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Medium rare always. And then like it has to include like broccoli, carrots, cauliflower is top notch. So that'll be my favorite meal.
Nice. Would you also pick like a baked potato or mashed potatoes also, or?
Easy. Baked potato over mashed potato for sure.
Yeah, same here. The last one, if you could have a match with someone that isn't a wrestler, who would it be? It could be someone from a book, a TV show, an athlete,
a celebrity,
a video game,
sports athlete.
Ooh, you know what? I think if I had to have any match with a celebrity or someone like that, sorry about that, there was a fly. I would have to say, can they be living or can they be?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. Either way.
Matter.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Alrighty. I would have to say, Babe Ruth. Comes to mind.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's different. That's cool.
It's a different one. Yeah. Why Babe Ruth?
Why Babe Ruth? First of all, he's a legend in his own sport, and for him to come out in a ring, with a baseball bat and just kind of this whole persona of, the great Bambino, I think that could be a perfect, I don't know. I think it would just be a lot of fun. And he was a pretty bigger guy, and I'm a smaller guy, and I love that dynamic. So
how would you see that match going?
How would I see that match going? Babe Ruth probably talking trash or something, pointing at me, calling a shot, and me just, trying to fight the bigger guy. And I'm not going to say who would win or who wouldn't win just because we would never know. So
nice. I like it. Well, once again, Nick, we really appreciate you taking the time to do this podcast with us. And like I said earlier, Rich and I, had the privilege to see you wrestle in Ontario last Friday at Greater Blessings, and it was a tag match with you, Jordan Clearwater, against Rachi Rico and Juan Ramon. What was that whole match, and what was it like teaming with Clearwater? What was the whole experience like for you?
So that was my first main event in the EWF. And that was my first time really wrestling with Jordan and wrestling against Ranchi Rico. Me and Friar Juan Ramon have wrestled a couple matches prior. So I've already, seen what he could do in the ring and stuff like that. But wrestling with Jordan, an absolute pleasure, an absolute pleasure. Gave me a lot of advice before going out there because, he's been doing this for a minute. The absolute utmost respect for Jordan Clearwater.
Because that was Rich and I's first match watching you wrestle live, because we've seen your videos on YouTube with the Hard Knocks YouTube channel with your matches there. But, watching wrestle live at Rich and I were talking about, it was such a great match, but also with you too, because the first time we're watching you, like I said, we needed to have you on the pod, and we fell in love with your style and what you presented in the ring, and it was awesome. And talk about how the beginning, take us how your wrestling journey, what got you into wrestling and what made you decide to be a professional wrestler.
Alrighty. I've always loved professional wrestling as a kid. Growing up, probably junior high school, I started focusing on other things, baseball, UFC, just kind of trying to find myself. And then when I got to high school, it's a funny story. This is how naive I was as a freshman. I heard that there was wrestling, high school wrestling, right? And I thought they're talking about chairs and
No, you're good. No, you're back.
Alrighty. Cool. Did it cut off at any point or?
No, we heard you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that.
That's okay. No worries.
But yeah, this is how naive I was. I thought they were talking about chairs and masks and stuff like that. And I walk into the wrestling room and absolute culture shock. But I stuck with it and I fell in love with that sport. So I have a little bit of amateur wrestling under my belt. And when I was 18, I was working at Quicksilver, and I had a coworker, that we would talk about wrestling all the time. And she finally asked the question, why don't you try out to be a wrestler? And, it took me 3 years to finally make a move on that. But that's kind of what jump-started everything. Just constantly thinking about that question in my head. Why don't I try and find a school? And I'm honestly so lucky to be a part of the School of Hard Knocks. Couldn't be a better school for me. Definitely starting out. Jessie Hernandez is an absolute legend. And, he taught me how to run the ropes. He taught me certain wrestling moves. He's just an absolute legend. And the environment we have at that school is unlike any other in my heart. So yeah, that's kind of my journey. It's kind of my journey to.
No, that's awesome, man. And talking about we seen a lot of amateur wrestlers, after high school, they usually wrestle in college or even make the move to MMA. Was there ever a part where maybe you want to do stay in wrestling, maybe wrestle in college, or maybe even do MMA? Was there ever a thought to go into that side?
There were a couple thoughts in my head, but this was the right move for me. This is kind of my destiny in my own head, just because of how long I've been watching pro wrestling. And of course I'm a fan of MMA and folk style wrestling, freestyle wrestling, Greco-Roman, all those different styles. But this was the right choice, 100%.
And I'm glad you made that right. I believe it's the right choice. After seeing your ring, I think you made a great choice. And
Thank you.
And it's crazy because now we're recent Gable Stevenson. Now he's signed to WWE now, winning Olympic gold medal and everything. And now we're kind of seeing a move where, especially even martial arts, Tom Lawler is now making a move to, he's been wrestling now.
Right.
But talking about now, was there like what was it like the first day at Hard Knocks? What was the whole feeling like? Like I said, jumping ropes. What was the first day of training like for you?
I remember this day very vividly. So it was a Saturday morning, and I get there, and I think I'm the only person there, right?
Oh.
And here comes this other kid, and we get to talking. I get to learn his story a little bit, and he was actually homeless, and he was this was his first day too. So here comes two very, very new, very green guys, that haven't seen the school, haven't all our expectations are just kind of through the roof at this point, just kind of what's going to happen. And then we meet Jessie, and we get inside the ring and we start running. I actually puked on my first day.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought I was in shape to be in the ring, and it's a whole nother ball game. It's a whole nother ball game. Let me tell you. It's definitely not easy for what we do, but after time, if you put the hard work and dedication that most of these guys do, then you'll be all right. Yeah, I puked on my first day though. Ran straight to a trash can. Thank God I didn't puke in the ring, because that would have been who knows what would have happened. But got to a trash can, puked, got right back in.
Nice. That's awesome. And then talking about what was it like also taking your first bump?
Ooh. I think I understood bumping a little quicker than most, just because the way Jessie explained it, just I actually have another story. So I used to be a police explorer, and we did this, kind of self-defense class during this whole process. And I took from what I learned in that class from landing. It was more of a roll, but the dispersive the dispersive impact is what stuck through my head, and that's that connected to what Jessie was saying, and I think bumping wasn't as bad for me, just because I understood a little bit quicker. I knew what he meant.
And also, was there any advice that he given you that you still keep to this day?
I hold one piece of advice from Jessie Hernandez in my heart, and it rings so true throughout this business. Be humble and respect everyone in this business, no matter if they're a 30-year vet or they're just starting out. You never know who's going to be who in this business. You never know who's putting in the time and the work at home, at the gym. Of course, you could see certain aspects, like people getting bulkier and stuff like that, but as far as your skills in the ring and just the dedication, you never know who's going to be who.
That's awesome. That's great advice. And in talking about before you did your first match, was there any tape that you would watch on specific wrestlers to get inspiration for your ring style?
I actually watched a couple of EWF matches on the YouTube channel right before my first match, just to get a feel for it. Other inspiring matches would probably be Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko in the early ECW days. I watched a lot of ECW actually right before my first match, just because not so much the blood and guts that ECW is so famous for, but they actually had really good wrestlers too, like Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko, and they had a lot going on. They had a lot of chemistry and dynamics that would go into their matches. Jerry Lynn and Rob Van Dam too. Those matches were crazy. Just different styles that I try to incorporate in my wrestling every day.
And also, like, talk to us about what was like making your debut. What was that whole experience like for you? Because I believe it was against Tyree, correct?
In Hard Knocks, yes, that was my very first match under a camera. Finally, in front of a live crowd, though. This is what I consider my EWF debut. I actually wrestled Richie Slade.
Beef candy.
Beef candy. Beef candy. Man. With the match with Tyree, like I said, it was very it kind of went so quick in my head. I kind of blacked out just because of, just of what was happening, and I don't think I really took into account. I don't think I really it really settled in until like maybe a week later. But my EWF debut with Richie in front of a live crowd, again, a whole nother ballpark, because you finally have fans watching you after this whole pandemic, and it was really a special moment.
Well, absolutely. And then talk about like the match and your thoughts. Like, what was it like also working with Richie Slade and Flex?
Oh man. Richie has been doing this for a long time as well. So has Flex. I think they started close together as far as time goes. Flex is one big dude. You don't want to mess with him. But me and Richie almost have, similar, we're kind of the same in size and stuff like that, but the things Richie could do with his body and, just control of certain moves, you could just tell that he's been in that ring for a long time, and he's soaking up everything from his debut all the way through. He's just constantly getting better and better as a wrestler, to the point where it's just mind-blowing to me. He's actually one of my favorite guys to watch in the ring. Just pure, he's got everything down. And it was an honor to work with him. Although, we may have had some rivalry going, but I honestly have to say that Richie has been one of my favorite people to be in the ring with so far. Him and the Friar Juan Ramon. Just because of what they could do in the ring and the story that we could tell is everything.
So. Okay.
Alrighty. Cool.
We're good? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I have a couple of people calling me. I probably should have put out something on Snapchat or something saying, but it's all right. You live and you learn. So.
No worries. And like I said, I totally agree, because especially with Richie Slade, the success he's having too, especially with championships from Hollywood and Primetime Live, and especially like that's crazy too. Like that was like your first match against especially like a veteran like him. Like it's so cool. And then talking about like now, like you're in the EWF American Championship tournament now, in which now you're in a semifinals. How does it feel for you to even because even thinking about that title, there's so many great names that held that title. You think of guys like Mikey Nichols, Carl Anderson, Human Tornado, all these guys. What does it mean for you to be part of that tournament, and also possible of winning that title?
it means everything to me right now as far as what it would do for my career. I'm just getting started, so having that belt over my shoulder so quickly, it would really put a lot of people on notice and stuff like that. But that belt, like you said, Carl Anderson, the Human Tornado, Jordan Clearwater, he was the last person to hold that belt, and to be in this tournament, we'll see who wins, but it means a lot just to be considered to be in that tournament, just to be in the tournament with all these, all these guys who've been in here for a minute, and rising stars as well. Romeo Cruz, that's who I have my semifinals match with, and it's going to be really fun to see what we could do in the ring together. So,
in talking about now, like you said, you're in the semifinals, but the first round you defeated Trilla King to get into the semifinals. Talk about that match and what was that experience like? Facing Trilla King.
So Trilla King, I had the athletic ability in that match, but since he's a veteran and he's been around the block a few times, he got under my skin, and that's how he gets you. He hurt my ribs really early on in the match. I actually bounced off the apron a couple times, and I could barely breathe. There'd be a couple times where we're just going back and forth, back and forth. And finally he had me down, and I'm kind of looking up to the sky thinking, like, man, I really hope worst case scenario, my ribs are broken. Best case scenario, they're slightly bruised. But he got up on the top rope, and he got a little overzealous, and we all know the famous Eddie Guerrero right before he's gonna be wearing the shirt too. So he was gonna hit me with a frog splash, and luckily I moved and hit him with a casita pin to get the victory. So I didn't even have time to celebrate though, because his knight in shining armor, Travis from Space 68, came out, and they put the boots to me. They were actually, Travis took off his boot and he was going to hit me with it, but luckily the guys from the locker room came out, and they saved me, so that was nice. Really appreciated that.
Awesome. And then talking about now, like I said, now you're going to face Romeo Cruz in the semifinals, which, honestly, Romeo Cruz is a good friend of the podcast, and he's probably watching, listening. If you have a message for him, Nick, what would you like to say to your future opponent? Is there anything?
Anything at all, huh? Romeo Cruz. I said earlier before how I stare in a mirror and I say that this is going to be my best match yet, right before any other match. This match itself is going to be really interesting because we're both rising stars. We were both super hungry for that American Championship. And let's see who's the hungriest. Let's see who wins that match. I can't wait. So respect to you, and let's have a great match.
Damn awesome. And we can't wait also. I mean, that's a match that I'm excited for. Like you said, you have two rising stars, two hungry wrestlers ready to, put on the show, and it's going to be really exciting. Definitely can't wait for that. And also, speaking of like as of now, what are your goals as of now? And also, who would you like to work with in the future? Is there any names that pop out that would you like to work with?
Let's see. My goals for EWF is, the basic cliche, get better every day. Soak up as much knowledge as I can, whether it be from Jessie Hernandez, whether it be from the other wrestlers, whether it be from, people that stop by when we're training. We're lucky to have guys like, Adrian Quest and a couple other guys pop in every so often for training. And I'm just trying to soak up as much knowledge as I can to be the absolute best version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm sorry, what was the other question?
Who would you like to work with in the future?
Who would I like to work with? Let's see. I've worked most of the guys in the back, or, at least in some variety, with Hard Knocks Wrestling and EWF. I'd really like to work Richie Slade one more time because I couldn't be there for the August 28th VWF show. I got horribly sick, and it wasn't COVID. It wasn't strep. It was just an out of the blue, super flu is what I like to call it. I was out for 2 weeks with 103 fever all the way throughout those 2 weeks. So I would really like a chance to redeem myself and give the fans what they were waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really anticipated match, and I'd like to work one more match with them. I would like to work my rematch with Richie Slade.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love to see that again. That would be an awesome match. Like I said, now, how much wrestling do you watch now? Like, how much do you get caught up with the current product with like AEW and WWE? Like, how much wrestling do you watch like today?
I watch a lot, actually. I've been really interested with what AEW has been doing lately, just because of they're bringing in all these guys back, and their storytelling is really what captivates me. And then with WWE, I like their wrestling. I like how crisp everything is. I like, even though some would say it's kind of like a robotic company in the way, and AEW is a lot more friendly. They're both amazing wrestling companies, and they set themselves apart from what they could do best. WWE, has a better production. They've been doing this for for so long, and AEW is just starting, so they're starting to get creative. They're starting to figure out what separates them from WWE.
Mm-hmm. In talking about go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Oh. I was just gonna say, it's great to see so many people back, like CM Punk, Daniel Bryanson after he's been gone for a little bit, Edge, although what Seth Rollins did, hopefully he's okay. It's just a great time for wrestling. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan right now, especially with every company is, bringing their A game, like especially with Impact, New Japan, AWW. Is there any like what company would you like to sign with, like any big companies, or does it really matter, or would you like to sign with maybe WWE or AW or New Japan or Impact?
All of them would be a pleasure. It's whoever basically, how do I put this? I would be lucky enough to be signed at all, and I'm just starting out, so that might not happen for a while, but all these major wrestling companies are an absolute blessing for me to sign a contract with, and all of them have their have their perks. All of them are different in their own respective ways, and I would just love to be a part of any of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely awesome. And then someone that's watching, listening to this, and wants to become a professional wrestler, what advice can you give to someone that wants to be in this business?
First of all, you have to take it seriously. You have to take yourself seriously. Not too seriously to where you gain an ego, but seriously enough to put in the work, put in the dedication, be humble, respect the people that are trying to help you within the business, and have the wherewithal to know who's trying to help you and who's not. Second of all, cardio is everything. Work on yourself, work on your body. And then 3 is having the confidence to be out there. People get stage fright. People, don't believe in themselves a lot of the time. This is just a generalization. This isn't as far as wrestling goes. This just kind of goes for everything. But just being confident within yourself and knowing what you can do, and having that belief that you could do anything you put your mind to.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Once again, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this podcast with us. And, we had so much fun. Again, thank you so much, Nick.
No problem. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
And also, for the fans to find you, where can they find you on social medias?
All right. I have an Instagram page. It's NIICKLASH on Instagram. Find me there. I post a lot of stories. I haven't posted like an actual post in a minute, so there's going to be a little revamping. I'm going to be a little more active on social media for sure. And follow me on or watch Hard Knocks Wrestling. That's another one. YouTube at Hard Knocks Wrestling. You'll find a lot of us there. Not just me, but the upcoming stars of EWF and veterans, former champions, just well-established guys that have been here for a minute. And you'll never know who you'll find. So go ahead and watch me on YouTube and follow my Instagram page.
Awesome. And there you go. And please, ladies and gentlemen, please go follow Nick Lash on all social medias and watch him on YouTube. Please do yourself a favor and watch all his matches. Again, support Nick Lash and support Empire Wrestling Federation. And again, thank you so much for watching and listening to Championship Online Podcast.
Thank you, guys.